Hello, my name is Ranjani Prabhakara. I am a policy lead in CEDAR's Office of Pharmaceutical Quality. In this presentation, I will walk you through how FDA intends to implement the GDUFA 3 commitment related to the pre-submission facility correspondence, or PFC, process, which can confer eligibility for a shorter 8-month priority goal date for priority ANDAs, including original ANDAs, ANDA supplements, and ANDA amendments. This commitment is a program enhancement agreed upon by FDA and industry as part of the negotiations supporting the reauthorization of GDUFA. The Generic Drug User Fee Amendments of 2012 amended the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act to authorize FDA to assess and collect user fees to provide FDA with resources to help ensure patients have access to quality, affordable, safe, and effective generic drugs. GDUFA fee resources bring greater predictability and timeliness to the review of generic drug applications. The implementation of GDUFA encompasses a wide range of activities that fall within the scope of regulating the generic drug industry. GDUFA has been reauthorized every 5 years to continue FDA's ability to assess and collect GDUFA fees. GDUFA 2 was signed into law in 2017 and ran through September 30th, 2022. On that same day, the President signed into law the FDA User Fee Reauthorization Act of 2022, which includes the reauthorization of GDUFA through September 2027. The latest reauthorization is referred to as GDUFA 3. The commitment letter contains the performance goals and program enhancements for GDUFA 3. This commitment letter represents the product of the FDA's discussions with industry and public stakeholders as mandated by Congress. The performance goals and program enhancements specified in this letter apply to aspects of the generic drug assessment program and build on the GDUFA program established and enhanced through previous authorizations. New enhancements to the program are designed to maximize the efficiency and utility of each assessment cycle, with the intent to reduce the number of assessment cycles for ANDAs and facilitate timely access to quality, affordable, safe, and effective generic medicines. FDA is committed to meeting the performance goals specified in this letter and to continuous improvement of the agency's performance. The commitment outlined in this guidance updates the conditions under which priority ANDAs, original supplements, and amendments may be eligible for the shorter 8-month goal date, including submission of a complete and accurate PFC and other criteria as specified in the GDUFA 3 commitment letter. FDA intends to continue using the information submitted in a complete and accurate PFC to help determine the need for pre-approval inspections earlier in the assessment process if certain criteria are met. An ANDA will generally receive an 8-month goal date if the applicant submits a complete and accurate PFC no later than 60 days before the ANDA submission. The information submitted in the ANDA does not differ significantly from the information submitted in the PFC, and an assessment of the final bioequivalence study report submitted in the ANDA does not determine that an inspection is necessary. If any of these criteria are not met, the standard 10-month goal date will generally apply. Through the implementation of this commitment, FDA aims to increase the number of priority ANDAs eligible for the shorter 8-month goal date by limiting the facility information submitted in a PFC to the information necessary for the FDA to determine if pre-approval inspections are needed, and by not requiring submission of a final bioequivalence study report if it is not ready at the time of PFC submission. This approach better matches the typical development program for a generic product, in which the bioequivalence study may be the last piece of the submission to be available. The updated PFC program under GDUFA 3 also offers more flexibility by allowing certain changes between the PFC and ANDA, provided these changes are not significant, as defined in the commitment letter. The main difference in the PFC process under GDUFA 3 is the change from sending either an eligible for further assessment letter or a not eligible for further assessment letter. These two letters have been replaced with one acknowledgement letter, which is sent upon PFC receipt, as ANDA priority status is determined at the time of ANDA submission. The main difference in PFC criteria is related to the facility information to be submitted in a PFC for a priority ANDA to be eligible for the 8-month goal date. Under the provisions of the GDUFA 3 commitment letter, the information to be submitted is more narrowly focused, limited to the information necessary for the FDA to make a decision regarding the need for a pre-approval inspection. Although a final bioequivalence study report is no longer required to be submitted with the PFC, if information in the final bioequivalence study report submitted with the ANDA leads FDA to determine that an inspection is needed, the 10-month goal date will apply instead of the shorter 8-month goal date. Changes between the PFC and ANDA are also allowed, provided that these changes do not constitute significant differences as defined in the GDUFA 3 commitment letter. Applicants can help facilitate the PFC process by submitting their PFC in eCTD format. Before submitting a PFC, applicants should certify that all information in their PFC is complete and accurate, and that all facilities are ready for inspection. Applicants should also notify the FDA if there are any significant changes at the time of ANDA submission. Considerations for assessment of facility readiness are outlined in FDA's draft guidance for industry, facility readiness, goal date decisions under GDUFA. Lastly, we highly recommend that applicants direct any questions to the regulatory project manager assigned to the subject application. The RPM will promptly work to address the applicant's concerns. For additional information on the topics covered in this presentation, please review the resources available on this slide. Thank you for watching.